If I say to you, name a fun person, somebody's face just popped into your mind, right? Think of that person's name. If I say to you, name a serious person, now someone's name and face popped into your mind for that. And if you're looking for a good time, you're like, I'm going to call that fun friend. Like if I'm looking for, I need something taken care of. I have an issue with something. I'm going to go call the serious person and they're going to get it taken care of for me. But what happens with homeschooling? Which is better? Is it better to be fun? Is it very more serious? That's what we're going to talk about right now.
Welcome to Little by Little Homeschool Podcast, where you'll learn tips and strategies that will empower you to home educate your children. I'm Leigh Nguyen, a homeschool mom of over 12 years, which includes 2 graduates. When I started homeschooling, I was pretty much on my own and was desperate for encouragement and help. My mission is to be a source of encouragement and help to you. Whether you are just beginning your homeschool journey or you're deep into the homeschool lifestyle, Little by Little Homeschool wants to help you stay the course because all the time you are investing into your children is completely worth it. If you're ready to take your homeschool to new levels, keep listening.
Pardon the use again of the word fun, but I think this is going to be a fun episode. Let's keep it light here in the summer. How is your summer going? I'd love to hear from you after this podcast episode and let me know what you think about this. So we will keep it fun, hopefully short and sweet, but I always want to leave you with something. I don't want you to walk away without some type of tactical plan, some tips or something to move forward. So that is going to be the goal. Just in case you haven't put my story all together, when I started homeschooling, I was the serious mom. Let's just say I was the serious mom from the beginning of my motherhood journey. And so now maybe I might gravitate a little bit more towards the fun that is easier. But when I was in the thick of it, like you're in the thick of it right now with your kids, it just was my default to more serious. Mostly, I think I was just tired. And that might be how you are feeling now. And you feel the gravity and the weight of all that you're doing. The home education, the discipleship, the guiding of your children and pouring into them and the investment and everything. It just feels so heavy. So today's episode is, which one's better? Is it better to be the fun homeschool mom? Is it better to be serious? Which one is going to lead to the better results and the better outcome of homeschooling? I'm going to give you my answer right off the bat here. And my answer is neither. Remember, God has given you your children to raise and to home educate. They don't need some other mom. They don't need your friend that is more fun or your friend that is more serious to be their mom. There is no thinking. Let's stop thinking, oh, so-and-so would probably be a better mom to my kids. No, God gave you your children, whether through birth or adoption or you're coming alongside someone else and helping to raise and home educate somebody's kids. God gave them to you. He doesn't make mistakes. He knows your personality. They don't need another mom, but they do need you as a homeschool mom to be humble and to grow and to not stay in a place that isn't serving your family well, not to have so much pride that you refuse to loosen up a little bit or to straighten up a little bit. Let's talk about the 2 polar opposite sides. So we have fun mom on one end and we have serious mom on the other end. Fun mom, I'm just going to give some generalities of my observations. Fun mom is always going to be up for fun. Forget any of that math work and forget anything of anything. Now, this doesn't mean like we're going to go extreme here. She's like, whatever, and always up for fun, laughing and fooling around. And then we have the other opposite. We have the serious homeschool mom, and she's got a schedule for the day. She knows what they are doing every minute of every homeschool day, and she has the entire year planned out, lesson plans. She knows exactly which lesson they'll be doing for every single thing, maybe months from now. Those are the very opposite ends. Now, there are some downsides to either one. Let's go into the fun mom. If you are constantly good time, let's look for a good time, let's avoid responsibility, then our kids can very easily learn that responsibility isn't a good thing. And the Bible says that it actually is a good thing. And doing work is something that's good, that satisfies us, that can point to the creativity that God has given us, the way that we can use our minds and our bodies. And so the downside to just always being a fun mom and not taking anything seriously is that we're not really equipping our kids for the real world. It's going to be a school of hard knocks when they get out there and get their first job and realize that their first boss is actually really serious. And you have to do this. There's no joking to get out of it. And they're going to lose their job. On the other end of the spectrum is the super regulated and scheduled and serious mom, and everything is so very serious, life and death for everything. And at that end, kids can think that everything is so heavy and they don't know how to relax. They don't know how to have fun. They don't know how to laugh and just sit back and enjoy themselves. So where should you land? Well, your guess is probably correct. Somewhere middle-ish. Now, I'm not saying that if you are maybe to the left of middle or to the right of middle, that you lean towards more fun. That's kind of your go-to. Or you lean towards more serious. That's more of your go-to. I think somewhere in between there is actually the best. Growing in motherhood, because that really is what home education is just your family living and working and growing together. Yeah, you just add in the math and some science and some English and all of that stuff. You're like, okay, yeah, just add that in. We get into that in all kinds of other episodes. But it's recognizing that right now, what is it that your kids need? And so motherhood means that you grow in that ability and in that maturity of saying, what do my kids need right now? So right now could be a season in life. Maybe you have been through a really hard time as a family. Maybe there has been a heaviness in your family. Maybe there has been multiple deaths in the family. Maybe there's just been a lot. And your family right now needs something just a little bit lighter. Your kids just need a little bit of levity. They need a little bit of a break. They just need some fun, maybe. Then maybe for this season right now that you're going into, or this right now in the summer, or for your homeschool year, you're like, you know what? I need to relax a little bit and I need to include things that are going to be fun. Maybe that means that you go on more field trips, just day trips. Maybe it means going to the playground more. Maybe it means only doing homeschool a couple days a week so that you have a day or two that you're just relaxing at home, or you're getting together with friends and you add in things like maybe this summer, you're like, okay, every Friday night we're going to invite a different family over and we're just going to sit around the campfire and make s'mores, just so the kids can just have some fun. Lay on the swing set, catch some lightning bugs. Do you call them lightning bugs, fireflies? I grew up calling them lightning bugs, so I know what both of them. So it's like the soda pop, or do you call them lightning bugs or fireflies? But recognizing this season right now, what do your kids need? Maybe it's the opposite, and you've just been fun-loving and everything's been Luna, whatever, but you're recognizing that your kids need a little bit more substance. They need a little bit more of a routine. They need more of a rhythm. They need more structure in their days. And you might go into the homeschool year saying, okay, we're going to add structure, but don't suddenly jump in the first day to something extreme. Maybe you just say, hey, look, our goal right now when we start our homeschool year is that we are going to spend from around this time to around this time. Maybe it's 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. And that's going to be our focused homeschool time. And you add in your family learning and you do some lessons. Maybe it's times going outside, taking a walk. It doesn't mean you're doing homeschool the whole entire time. But you might just need to add a little bit of structure because that's going to serve your family right now in this season. But it's also recognizing what is the best response right now in this moment. When your child does something, drops something, and there's a big mess, is it time to get serious because that child had been warned that if they are throwing around cups of milk and being all kinds of just not caring what the outcome is going to be, maybe it does mean to be a little bit more serious and say, hey, look, this is the consequences of this. We have a really big mess to make right now. Or maybe it's that child who's working so hard to carry that cup of juice across the kitchen and the cat distracts them and they spill some of the juice. Well, does that need a serious talking to right now? No, it probably needs a little bit of laughter and to show that it's okay. We all make mistakes. So recognizing overall, what does your family need in this season? But then it's recognizing, what does my children, what do even each child need just right now in this moment? Are they maybe a teenager that's just being weighed so heavily down? Maybe there's issues with friendships and friend groups, or maybe they're feeling left out of friend groups. And you're like, you know what? We need to add a little bit of fun. We need to maybe do a family movie night that's a comedy, or I just need to take this kid out on a fun date. We're going to go to a baseball game or to the theater or go bike riding, something. What do they need from you right now? And so I think that there doesn't have to be either end. I think when we go extreme to either end, our kids are missing out on something. Obviously, God can redeem those areas, but I think we can equip them better, because really the goal is to equip them to be ready to step out into the world on their own. Because believe it or not, these little kiddos that you have, whether they're small or they're getting older, our job is to work ourselves out of a job. The children that we just love so much, your job, your priority with them is to teach them to be independent. So we are raising up our kids. It starts with learning how to tie your shoe. It starts with being able to learn how to cross a street properly and safely. It's getting their first job. It's driving away from your house on their own for the very first time. It's maybe going to camp or going to a gap year program or going off to college or going on their first date. There's a lot of things that we teach our kids so that they can become independent. And it sometimes just hits me. These little people that we just can't live without someday. I'm not saying you're going to live without them, but it's going to be different. Most of their lives they're going to live as adults. And so it's our job to give them that foundation. So that's why I think it's important to have this conversation. It's important for us to have fun with our kids, and it's also important to get a bit more serious. Serious when it comes to maybe the homeschool. You might have a child that's really struggling, and you might say, we were trying, this is totally just an example. You might say, we were trying just to be completely unschooling, and whatever they happen to encounter will be fine, but I recognize that this one, it needs a little bit more structure. Then I'm going to encourage you to add that structure for that child. It doesn't mean that everybody in the family needs to have that same structure or any structure, but it's recognizing what each of our kids need so that we can equip them. But I think it's so important for our kids to see that we can have fun. I tend to now lean more towards the fun because, listen, I'm at the further end. Yes, all three of mine are living at home right now. My 2 young adults and my older teen are living in the house. And so I'm seeing at any time now, the older 2 could say, you know what? I'm going to move out. I'm going to get my own place. Or I've got some roommates I'm going to go move in with. Or at some point here, I met a guy or I met a girl and we're going to get married. And I'm just seeing that this season of my life is short, maybe a couple more years at the most. And so I'm like, you know what? It doesn't hurt to have a little bit of levity, a little bit of fun. And my default to be, instead of when something happens that they look at me and I'm serious, or how would I just smile and say, it's going to be okay. Let's work through this. Because there's some big things with older teens and young adults. There are some very big things that can be life altering, and decisions and courses of action. And when they know, like, it's going to be okay. I looked at mom, it's going to be okay. Even if it is a serious moment, I can give them a type of smile that's just like, it's going to be okay. We are going to work through this. So that's why I think it's important. I think it's important for us to be able to smile and to laugh and to have joy and just to have a good time with our kids, for them to see that God has created a beautiful world and he wants us to enjoy it. But there are also times where we need to be serious and we need to be respectful and maybe have a more of a schedule or more of a routine. And there are some hard things that we're going to have to do. We can't just laugh our way all the way through life. So I think there is that balance. But I think that we tend to, most of us, aren't really smack dab in the middle. I think our natural default is either to be more fun or to be more serious. And I think it's important to recognize which one we tend towards. Like I said, I tend towards the serious. So I have to be very intentional that I add in more of the fun. And I honestly wish that I was aware of this years earlier, and it would It's more so I started to recognize it, and I would have to literally force myself to smile or to be okay with just having a good time instead of checking off the things on my to-do list or the different lessons that I wanted to do for school, and just to be like, you know what, it's okay. We can just have a good time today. Let's see how far we can get. And if we don't get much further than the backyard, then that's okay as well. Knowing that God will always redeem our time. But I want to encourage you to spend time in prayer. If this is a struggle for you, just ask God, am I leaning towards one or the other too much? And help to work that out of me. Help to break down my pride, help me to be humble and to accept the changes that you want to do within my heart. I would encourage you to pray that prayer. I pray that prayer often. There are things that I force myself to go and do because I know that it is the best thing to do, because we don't always feel like laughing and having a good time because we have this whole long list of things in the back of our mind. We don't maybe always feel like we want to be serious and get down to business, but we do it anyway because we know it's the best thing to do. Before we close out, it is the middle of July. Can you even believe it? Have you planned out your next homeschool year? You know what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether you have or not. If you have all of your homeschool curriculum and it's all lined up, you got everything figured out, or you don't. I want to encourage you that if you are looking to create and build an intentional homeschool, like the one that we talk about a lot here at Little by Little Homeschool, I want to encourage you to go check out your homeschool blueprint, because it is a great time to set up that intentionality, whether you've been homeschooling for, maybe you just finished up your first year, or maybe you're going into your first year, or you're a couple years in, or maybe even 10 or 15 years into it, and say, you know what, I need to reevaluate. So maybe this is to establish that very first foundation of intentionality, or it is to give yourself maybe like a little bit of a jump start. Like, you think of I used to watch Grey's Anatomy way back in the day when I was in college. Apparently it's still on. I had no idea. But you'd watch them paddles and they'd put it on this person, they'd jumpstart their heart. Maybe that's what you need, and your homeschool blueprint can be that for you. You can get more information at littlebylittlehomeschool.com/blueprint. I would also love to hear from you if you have any insight or have any questions about this episode. I am always willing to listen. You can find me on Facebook or Instagram and your homeschool blueprint through the Facebook group there and everything. So have a good day, friends, and happy middle of July.
Thank you for listening, friend. I'd love to connect with you more. You can find social media links in the show notes, and share this episode with a friend who could use a boost to her homeschool. See you back here real soon.